everyone! Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your teacher Aubrey. Naka-work from home kaya on your screen. So for today's video, meron na naman tayong bagong lesson. At ang lesson ito ay yung absolute value and the operations on integers. So bago yan, so napapansin nyo, nakakastuya ako, diba guys? Kahit ko lang i-flex, gusto ko lang i-flex yung artwork ng pinsan ko. Sige, letter A. Letter A stands for bahala kayo ditan. Okay, so ano kaya kayo nagpapinta tikas la kandel jay, letter A jay, you just contact Jandel. At mag-inquire lang kayo sa kanya, very talented yan, magaling siyang mag-paint. Okay, so itong lesson ito, itong module na ito, we will have 5 lessons. So wag na nating patagalin pa. I will share now my PowerPoint presentation. So, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Keep on watching. So, this is now our lesson for the week, the absolute value and the operations on integers. This is our lesson in Module 3. And kung nagtatanong kayo kung anong gamit naming module, ito po yung module namin for this week. This module is divided into 5 lessons. Namely, Lesson 1 is on representing absolute value of a number on a number line. Lesson 2, addition of integers. Lesson 3, subtraction of integers. Lesson 4, multiplication of integers, and lesson 5, division of integers. Okay, so for this module, you are expected to represent absolute value of a number in a number line. Find the sum of integers and solve problems involving addition of integers. Find difference, find product, find quotient of 2 integers, and solve problems involving the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of integers. Okay, so bago natin simulan yan, ipapakita ko muna sa inyo itong like tree diagram ng ating real number system. So kung mapapansin nyo, sandali, i-laser ko muna. So the last part is the natural numbers. So these natural numbers are also called counting numbers. These are the numbers that we use in counting. So we probably start, or we exactly start with 1. So 1 ti pangrugyan tayo. But when we say whole numbers, we include 0. So we start with 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on and so forth. And then integers, i-include na natin dito yung mga negative numbers. So we have -1, -2, -3, -4, blah, 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 and then 0, and then +1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blah, 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 Ang patingga natin numbers, guys. So it is infinite. Then, we will proceed to the rational numbers. These rational numbers are your fractions and decimals. And then, irrational numbers. These are your square root of ganito, square root of ganyan, ganun. So, for the meantime, dito muna tayo sa integers. Tapos nyo na yung natural number, tapos nyo na yung whole number nung elementary kayo. So, ngayon, let's just focus on the integers. Dito yun, anti-orange, and then rational, and then irrational. But for the meantime, integers muna. So, for us to know what is absolute value, The absolute value of a number is a distance of a number from 0. Remember, distance itself is always positive. The absolute value of a number n is written as n. Ulit. So the absolute value of n, that's how we read this one. Buti pa si absolute value, always positive thinking. Positive thinker. Wala siyang kanega-nega, puro positive lang siya. Okay, so note of this one, the absolute value of x is positive x if x is greater than 0. So the absolute value of 0 equals 0. The absolute value of negative number is a positive number. Okay, so makikita natin dito na lahat positive. Positive siya, magiging positive. Yung 0, magiging 0. Yung negative, magiging positive. So, positive lang siya. Positive vibes lang tayo, guys. Okay, so let's have examples for that. Okay, you have 7. The absolute value of 7 is 7. The absolute value of 0 is 0. And the absolute value of negative 21 is 21. Ganun. In writing the absolute value of a number, just write the numerical part. So, for example, this one, the absolute value of 5 is 5. In symbol, ganito. Ganon din sa negative 5. So, tignan nyo na lang. Just write the numerical part. And then, if we are done with that, let's have the absolute values in a number line. So when you say the absolute value of 6, you are having the distance of 0 to the positive 6 units. So you have 6 units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Kaya siya 6. Next example, 0. O, dyan lang siya sa gitna. Walang nagbago. Ganyan lang. And also, the absolute value of 3, negative 3, from 0 going to negative 3, ganyan. So, there are 3 units. So, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. We are dealing with distance here. Kaya positive lang. Next is, what is an integer? Ano nga ba yung integer? So, an integer is a positive or negative whole number including 0. So, dito ay 0 dating nga to the right of my hand. So, to my right, lahat positive. Sa kabila naman, lahat negative. So, 0 yung gitna, dito positive, doon negative. So, ganyan siya. Examples of a negative integer, 0, and positive integer. So, let's have the addition of integers. So, there are 2 rules in adding integers. When the integers have like signs, add the numbers and copy the common sign. So, when the second rule also says that when 2 integers have unlike signs, subtract the numbers and use the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. Kaya natin tinakil kanina yung absolute value para alam natin kung paano mag-add, subtract, times, divide ng mga integers. So, let's have examples. For rule number 1, we have 7 plus 8 equals, take note, syempre 15. That's absolutely 15. But what we are dealing here is the signs. Kung natin rule number 1, positive plus positive equals positive. So, pareha silang positive. So, kung positive thinker yung kasama mo at positive thinker ka din, di positive vibes lang, di ba? Learn! Next example. What if you have negative 7 plus negative 8? Okay, again, nagpadada, negative. plus negative equals negative. So, kung negative yung kasama mo at negative ka rin, di nega kayong dalawa, di ba? So, let's have the next rule. 7 plus negative 8, you have this one now. Take note, they do not have the same sign. 7 is a positive number and 8 is a negative number. So, sabi dito, pag hindi magkapareho, subtract the numbers, then use the sign of the number with greater absolute value. Alin nga ba dyan ang mas greater when it comes to absolute value? So, the absolute value of 7 is 7. And the absolute value of negative 8 is positive 8. So, 8 is greater than 7. So, we follow the sign of 8. Now the answer is negative 1. Bakit negative 1? Kasi sabi nga, subtract. 8 minus 7, the 1, and then copy the sign of the greater, the number with greater absolute value. So, yung 8, yung sign ng 8 is negative. Kaya, negative 1. By the way, amok nga da kayo ubing, ang gusto sa kay calculator. But you have to learn independently. Next, number 3 examples, also in, number 4. Have negative 7 plus negative, positive 8. Negative plus positive, again. Subtract the numbers and use the sign of the number with the greater absolute value. So the absolute value of 7 is 7. The absolute value of 8 is 8. So 8 is greater than 7. Then 8 minus 7, you have 1. And then copy the sign of the greater absolute value, which is 8. Positive siya, kaya positive 1. Okay. So now let's proceed to the subtraction of integers. In subtracting integers, you have to keep in mind this one. Keep, change, change, add. Keep, change, change, add. Keep the sign of the first term and then change the operation minus to plus. Change the sign of the second term and then do the addition as usual, yung kanina. Okay. So let's have example. If you have 10 minus 3 equals, ano nga ba? Siyempre, amutay ka 7. But if we deal with the laws of or the rules of signs, dagito, you have 10. Kasi we have to keep that. You keep the first term. You change minus to plus. And change the second term to negative, and you have positive plus negative equals, subtract again, didagpa that sign. Di sila magkapareho ng sign, kaya mag-minus ka. 10 minus 3 is 7, but the greater absolute value is 10. So the sign of 10 is positive, so your answer is positive 7. Yon. Next, if you have 10 minus negative 3 equals, detan. Again, ureg pa the dati sign, you have to do the keep, change, change rule. So, this positive, negative 10 will become negative 10 lang kasi you keep that. Then change minus to plus, and then change negative 3 to positive 3, and then proceed with addition. Take note, positive plus positive equals, they do not have the same sign, so subtract and copy the sign of the number with greater absolute value. 10 minus 3 have 7, but theta, absolute value ko 10. Tidakdakkel, so the sign of 10 is negative, so your answer is negative 7. Next example. What about if you have 10 minus negative 3? So again, you have to do the keep, change, change, add. Then This will be remaining as 10. So this remains 10. Then change minus to plus. Then change negative 3 to positive 3. And then proceed with addition. Positive plus positive equals positive. So yung magkapareha, positive lang. So pag magkaparehang positive, positive. Magkaparehang negative, negative. So your answer is 13. Gets? Next, tapno magets si 5. Let's have negative 10 minus positive 3 equals, you keep, you change, then you add. Negative 10 will remain as negative 10. Minus will become positive. Positive 3 will become negative 3. And negative plus negative equals, since they have the same sign, just add them and copy the common sign. So 10 plus negative 3 equals negative 13. Now let's proceed to the multiplication of integers. Ito madali lang kasi pag magkapareho sila, positive yung sign. Pag hindi sila magkapareho, then negative yung sign. But in other books, they use negative 3 times 4. Yung symbol lang times, ganito pa rin, yung x. In other books also, multiplication sign is just like a dot. In other books also, they use parentheses. So, no agkasjayan, agabay akasjayan, meaning multiplication. But since you are already in your 7th grade, and higher mathematics will require or having the solutions in this manner, so let's use this one. That is the parenthesis na. So there are 3 rules pala in solving integers or applying multiplication. So pag positive silang dalawa, positive. Pag negative silang dalawa, positive. Pag hindi sila magkapareho, positive, negative, or negative, positive, negative yung sagot. At kung 0 naman, 0. So any number multiplied to 0 is 0. Yun. Let's have example for rule number 1. If you have 4 times 6, syempre positive times positive, your answer is positive. Kaya magkapareho. So, 4 times 6, you have 24. Also, applying, again, rule number 1, negative 4 times negative 6, ang padadamanin, they are both negative. Negative. So, the answer is positive. Magkapareho sila. So, you have positive 24. Di kayo maululaw agbadigpada ni addition, subtraction, tila agpada ti rule ni multiplication can division. So nalaka lang dati multiplication can division kasi no didagpada negative, nagpada da positive. Sila kuma deto o ti hugot tay ka dati ko ajim mo na positive times positive, positive. So no positive vibe ti kayat mo, positive vibe mo ti kayat ti kaduam, di positive vibe amin, di ba? Ngayon no negative ka, dito i-apply tayo negative, negative, positive, anong napaka-applyan na. So, no negative ka ti COVID, kasi ka doon ko negative ti COVID, that's a positive news, di ba? Magandang news yan. Kasi ito paka-applyan na in real life. So, when multiplying two integers with different signs, the product is negative. Different signs ha. Example, negative 4 times 6. You have a negative number times a positive number. Didagpada, therefore it is negative. Negative 24. Again, if you have 4 times negative 6 equals positive times negative, the answer is a negative number kasi hindi sila magkapareho ng sign. So you have negative 24. Yan. Also, the rule number 3 states that Any number multiplied by 0 gives a product of 0. If you have 0 times negative 6, you have, if you have 0 times negative 6, you have 0. So the answer is 0. Also, on the other hand, if you have 10 times 0, a positive number times a 0, so the answer is 0. Yan. So pag hindi nyo naintindihan masyado, you can just replay the video. And then let's proceed to the last lesson, division of integers. So pareho lang sila ng rules ng multiplication. Pag magkapareho yung sign, positive. Kung hindi sila magkapareho, and the negative. But in division, there is a special rule when it comes to 0. Kasi if a 0 divided by a number, the answer is 0. But if a number or any number divided by 0, the answer is always undefined. Okay, so you have here at the bottom different ways on how to write division of integers. But for the meantime, let's use the usual one. But as we go on our higher mathematics, we will be dealing with this one, the fraction type. Pero ito muna. Okay, so let's have examples for that. If you have 15 divided by 3, of course, we know that the answer is 5. But what we are dealing here is on the rules of signs. So if a positive number is divided by, sorry guys, plus detoy, editek biit. Editek biit, nakababain. Bali nga plus. Ekit di, baliwan tayo nga daamin detan, Okay, so if we have a positive number divided by a positive number, they have the same sign, meaning your answer is positive. Next example, if we have negative 15 divided by the negative 3, and we know that it's positive 5 because a negative number divided by another negative number, the answer is a positive number kasi magkapareho sila. But on the other side or the other rule, we know that 15 divided by negative 3, the resulting is negative 5 because positive divided by negative, they do not have the same sign. Therefore, your answer is a negative number. Yan. Also, if you have negative 15 divided by positive 3, again, you know that it's negative 5. Why? Because, again, negative divided by positive equals negative number. So your answer is negative 5. I know you can use your calculators in here, but learn to do this independently. At ito naman, if you have 15 divided by 0, your answer is undefined kasi nahuli yung 0. If you have negative 15 divided by 0, the answer is, again, undefined. But if you have 0 divided by 15 or 3, the answer is 0. And if you have 0 divided by a negative number, the answer is 0. Take note of the difference. If your divisor is 0, then it will be undefined. But if your 0 is your dividend, your answer or your quotient is 0. Okay. It's your turn. Open your modules and do the activities assigned to you by your teacher. So, thank you for watching and God bless you guys. Pag hindi nyo naintindihan masyado itong lesson ito, on your first glance, you can repeat or rewatch this video. So that ends our lesson. Bye-bye. That ends our lesson for today and I hope you learned something. At bago nating i-end ang video to, gusto ko lang i-shout out yung mga nagpapa-shout out. Pero hindi ko pa na-screenshot. So for the meantime, general muna. Shout out sa grade 7 Confucius, grade 7 Newton, grade 7 Waling-Waling, grade 7 Jasmine, grade 7 Sunflower, and grade 7 Dahlia of Paoay National High School. I hope to see you soon, guys. So for the meantime, dito muna sa video to. So, hello! At dito na po nagtatapos ang ating video ngayon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click the notification bell below for more updates and more videos. See you again on